What's really going on with Shedeur Sanders? The Browns keep saying he's progressing, but fans are starting to feel like something ain't adding up.
I want to get to the bottom of this with Shedeur, and I wanted you to talk about this in particular because I'm trying to figure out what exactly is happening within the Shedeur discussion. I don't know what's going on with the back problem, and I'm very confused. Monday he's not practicing. Obviously, they're off today. We'll find out what happens on Wednesday. But last Sunday, after the game was done, and again, remember, they just played a game, and he's talking to reporters. I don't know, I don't know who exactly he was talking to in the scrum, but I believe Mary Kay's reported the recounting of it where he makes the reference of how it wasn't his call to be sitting down. It wasn't his call to not be the backup in that Patriots game. I would imagine then.
In other words, he was ready to go even if he wasn't 100%.
Right, and I remember we did the pregame show. I'm here with Coach Riz. We're going through as people that are there are describing what's happening on the field as he's warming up, and he looks all right, and things look good, and then you find out he's not the backup quarterback. And you just have a week where it feels like we got no information. I don't know the status of it. And then he misses Monday's practice. And the whole thing, I don't know what it is, but something just doesn't pass the smell test.
Yeah, it feels a little fishy, but here's the other thing.
It don't feel a little fishy. It don't add up. They be lying, man. Because I heard somebody was talking about he needed help getting up off the ground after doing the warm-ups. Somebody lying, bro. Somebody lying. Now, we all know it's confirmed that Shedeur did have the back injury. He done said it. He went to Colorado over the weekend. He said he been getting treatment, but it can't be that serious to the point to where he need help off the ground. But then they saying people seen him working out, and then it wasn't his decision to sit. Like, come on now, something confusing. This why I'm telling y'all, man, I don't believe nothing the Browns say. Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Beck, I don't believe nothing they say until they prove me otherwise, man. Because Kevin done said out his mouth, and this is what I believe. This is the only thing I believe. He is not focused on Shedeur.
Then congratulations to the Browns for the commitment to the bit coming out of the bye week and not having Shedeur practice because of the back. If it's what has been insinuated in some circles, I'm not saying you, Jonathan, but I'm just saying the insinuation out there is that this is a phantom back injury for Shedeur, right? I'm not putting
but I don't really know what to believe one way or another.
I'm just saying the Browns are certainly committed to the bit because they did not have him practice yesterday.
But he gave off the impression that everything was trending in the right direction and it seemed fine, and then he doesn't practice on Monday, and then we don't have any real updates one way or another.
He did fly to see his family, and I want to be very clear because there were some people criticizing that. I have no problem with Shedeur going to see his family during the bye week. Yeah. That's what the bye week's all about.
Right, exactly.
Back injury or no back injury, that's what the bye week is all about. I'm not going to get on that kid for being a human being going to see his family. That to me, non-story. Now, if he's missing practice because he went to see family, okay, there's a little bit of a story there, so long as you're not talking about an ill family member or something like that. You know what I mean?
I do. I just think it's okay if you're sitting there and you're a Shedeur Sanders fan and you're saying something's not right. Something's not adding up. The 1 + 1 isn't equaling 2. And normally I would give the Browns.
Especially when you watch Dillon Gabriel on the field and you're watching what a catastrophe that is. And you're saying, how can so if Dillon, right, by the Browns metric, if Dillon is so much further ahead than Shedeur, then how, and I'm not bashing Shedeur, but I'm just saying, for the sake of conversation, then how bad is Shedeur?
Well, now Shedeur can't even go see his family on a bye week. It still don't make no sense. 1 + 1 ain't equaling 2. In this instance, it might be 3 or 4 with the Browns. But if Shedeur went up there, he brought the lady with him to Colorado to go get treatment, and he worked out. So we don't know the full workout. We just seen a little bit. But what I'm saying is, man, these folk hating so bad, they gonna tell this man he can't go see his family on a bye week. He ain't got no other obligations with the Browns during the bye week, but he go see his family. Now that's a problem. Now we don't know the real reason why he ain't practice. We don't know. Maybe they just said, well, we're gonna have Tuesday off anyway, so we might as well not let them practice Monday just to give them 2 extra days. I guess before today, Wednesday. I guess I don't know.
That's where they lose me in a lot of ways.
But that's what I'm saying. If Dillon Gabriel is light years ahead, and as far as being ready to play, and he doesn't look like he's ready to play, but that's what the organization keeps feeding us is that there's this gap between these two quarterbacks. Well, then I have to ask the question: my goodness gracious, how far behind is Shedeur? How bad is Shedeur? Now, what I do find interesting...
Well, they don't even see him play, though. That's part of the problem, too, at this point.
He's not even getting... Well,
how's he supposed to showcase that he's gotten any better when the only time he was practicing was on the practice fields off on the left-hand side, not with the team? And
or
now that he's
Baldwin Wallace.
And now that he's the backup quarterback, he gets to be there in a situation where he famously is not getting any backup reps or any reps at all with the starters because they're all going to Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, because Dillon Gabriel's so terrible, he has to have those reps. I just don't know
how you're supposed to prove yourself. No, but the part that doesn't pass the smell test for me here, the part that I get a little iffy on, is the idea that the Browns are incredibly cagey when it comes to these injuries. And it took us 9 months to find out what was wrong with Mike Hall Jr.
Yeah.
The man got injured in January. We just found out like a month ago what the hell was actually wrong with him.
Yeah. Well, we knew he had the one. We didn't know he had the...
Like he said, man, if Dillon Gabriel that far ahead, how far back was Shedeur? Ain't no way, man. The man literally, when he first got drafted and got there, said the offense is similar from Colorado. So how you telling me that he don't know this and he don't know that and he not ready when clearly Dillon Gabriel, just like he said, ain't ready and still ain't ready? I don't care how many reps he get. He been digressing. He been going the wrong way ever since he been starter. He had that one good game where it wasn't even a good game. He had scored 2 touchdowns, and then ever since then it's been bad. And the only reason why they won is because of the defense. But watch, he about to turn the ball over some more, and they gonna end up losing, and they still gonna play him because Shedeur not ready. I'm telling you, man. I think it's personal with Kevin, with Shedeur. He really don't like Shedeur for whatever reason. Kevin do not like Shedeur. Besides, they got to prove that drafting Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round was the right decision. That's the only other reason I could think of why Kevin is forcing Dillon Gabriel on these Brown fans and us and not even giving Shedeur a chance. Like he said, he is not my focus.
The second one.
Yes, but you see how cagey they are with this stuff, and you see how they're so about misinforming us, and then being so secretive about everything. And with Shedeur, like I think you're all right to suggest what exactly is going on here. Why wasn't he practicing yesterday? What happened Sunday where after the game Shedeur is telling you I was ready to play, I wanted to play. They're the ones that said no, you're not playing. Like what is going on here?
Right, and the other thing too is no, I don't think that this is a big conspiracy where the Browns spent a 5th round pick on a guy, traded up with Philadelphia to take him, and they're trying to sabotage his career. Like let's
that
not,
seems dumb too.
Let's not take this to the extreme and get nuts here. All right.
Well, I mean, but it almost is to the point where now I'm trying to go the other direction. Does Shedeur look at what this roster is, and maybe Shedeur is trying to protect himself at this point?
Man, I don't care what that man say. They is trying to sabotage. Man, you can't prove me. Tell me, you showing me that's what you trying to do. You showing me that you have no inkling or no dang, what the word? No, you don't want to play Shedeur. That's what you're telling me. You don't want to play Shedeur. So I don't know what else to think then. If you would have told us straight up and came out and said exactly what your plans was, when nobody be having these speculations and these narratives and these conspiracies, what they keep calling. When nobody had none of that, because you would have said, hey, go back, watch the tape. Before the season started, I told y'all we're going to develop him slow. We're going to make sure he right before we put him in there. What's so hard about saying that? You got to be secretive. No, you want that money, Jimmy? You told him, don't say nothing. Don't give him too much. Give him just a little bit or give him nothing at all so they can think and wonder and have the team talked about in the news every day.
You know, he looked at this roster and is like, I guess I'll wait this thing out. Maybe they'll trade me to a different team. Maybe they'll have a better team next year and I can get on the field then. Like, see what's happening with Dillon right now. And I tend to think Shedeur can rise above anything.
Right.
Like, I tend to think he'll be all right no matter whatever situation he finds himself in. But look at this offensive line. Look at these wide receivers. Look how Dillon Gabriel doesn't seem like he has a chance on these Sundays. And that's his talent and his problem. But also, it's not as if the Browns receivers are helping anybody out. Like, I'm at a spot here where I'm almost wondering if Shedeur is almost protecting himself in this equation.
Yeah, it is a little mysterious, and you're right.
Because he doesn't have the same opportunities other people have, Daryl.
Well,
if he goes out there and stinks, the NFL will toss him aside like days old Chinese food. Right. They're ready to go ahead and do that for him.
Well, there's kind of part of me, and I want to make sure I say this correctly. The reason I want to watch Shedeur right now is because Dillon Gabriel's so bad, and I can't imagine that Shedeur is going to be much worse. And even if Shedeur is much worse, at least I'm going to be entertained by it. I'm not entertained by Dillon Gabriel. I would rather watch paint dry than watch Dillon Gabriel play quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I would rather watch Johnny Manziel come back and play quarterback for the Browns than watch Dillon Gabriel play quarterback for the Browns. I'd rather them activate Deshaun Watson on 2 torn Achilles to come out and play quarterback for the Browns.
I would watch Johnny Manziel's alter egos, his Chad Powers version. I mean, my goodness, I'd watch anything instead of Dillon Gabriel.
Right. I mean, that's where I'm at with Dillon Gabriel. He's that bad. He's all-time bad. And it's like
he's that bad. I'd rather watch paint dry. I'm telling you, man, look here. I won't keep saying it, man. It ain't Dillon Gabriel's fault that he got put in this situation. That's why I don't like y'all calling that man names and stuff. He didn't put himself in this situation between the Browns and Shedeur. He didn't do it. The Browns did it. They didn't have to draft Shedeur, but they was forced to. But they didn't have to draft Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round. They could have drafted Dillon Gabriel later, knowing that they had to draft Shedeur. But like we drafted him in the 3rd round. This our guy. And he's stinking up the joint. So now you done got the quarterback position wrong again, Andrew Berry and Kevin. But now you got the franchise quarterback getting back phantom back injuries in the QB2 and don't even want to play him. It's still my opinion though. I still think Andrew Berry is setting it up for Shedeur. But at the same time, what I'm seeing telling me otherwise. So you don't know what to believe.
Best start was his first start, Minnesota, in London. He's gotten progressively worse, which, by the way, again, don't profess to be a football savant. I'm not, but I'm here to tell you that's not how it goes. It's supposed to get better the more you play, not worse. And so, you know, if he can't come out and do it against the Jets, he better not be on the field the following week. That's all I have to say. He better go out there and light them up.
I just want to know what's going on here. Something's fishy. Jason Lloyd was on earlier today. He was on the morning show, and he had this to say. I thought it was interesting. Here we go.
There's going to be a 30 for 30 on this Shedeur season with the Browns. There's obviously a lot going on behind the scenes. I think that's pretty evident. Like, I don't think you have to be a crack reporter to figure that out. I do think a play, like, you know, he kept around this long.
That's not an answer. Come on. When do you think he's going to play?
I don't know, December. There's just a lot of noise. And that's part of the Shedeur experience. There's just a lot of noise all the time.
He might be right. They gonna show enough document this thing, especially if Shedeur or when Shedeur become a franchise quarterback, if it's with the Browns or without the Browns, and he opened up that Lombardi trophy, they definitely gonna make a 30 for 30 of how the Browns tried to bury him on the depth chart and sabotage his career, his rookie year, and not giving him an opportunity to play Dillon Gabriel, who's getting worse as time goes on, and the more reps he gets worse. And I'm telling you, boy, it's gonna be bad because Quinshawn hurt. Hopefully he better, but who knows, man. I'm telling you right now, you can't win with 8 back there. You can't win with Dillon Gabriel. And Myles Garrett, they know it. That's why he was so frustrated and threw his helmet. I'm telling you, bro. This gonna be a story to be told. And I'm right here documenting everything, just like Well Off Media. I need y'all to like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about that Moneymane you already know. Because when I say it, you better believe.
And say that's Shedeur's fault.
Well, you signed up for it, though. You willingly signed up for that. You knew what you were getting into when you made the trade with Philadelphia to make the pick.
But he says a 30 for 30 is going to happen, and there's a lot behind the scenes that we're not privy to. You're there. I'm trying to figure out what exactly we're not privy to that's happening behind the scenes.
And I'm not going to speak for Jason. I love Jason Lloyd.
I just want you to speak for you.
He's one of the best in the business. I think what he's trying to get at is that, to your point, it's not adding up, right? Dillon's so terrible. They're trying to come up with any way not to put Shedeur in a position to where he actually has to go out there and play right now because they don't feel he's ready. Like, I don't buy into this notion that the Browns are trying to sabotage this kid or they're trying to stick it to the kid. Something is obviously going on that the organization isn't 100% thrilled with. To the organization's credit, Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski are grown adults, okay? Mm-hmm. So you're not seeing stuff leaked to the NFL insiders about things that Shedeur may or may not be doing behind the scenes, okay? And I'm not saying that he is or isn't doing anything behind the scenes. I'm just making the point that We haven't had any negative stories. Whatever is going on, they're keeping it buttoned up and in-house and in the family, and that's fine. But I'm finding it hard to believe as I continue to watch Dillon Gabriel suck the life out of Browns fans every Sunday that he starts, and also the locker room, based on, I don't know, a player or two that might be watching on social media. Like, I find it hard to believe that Shedeur Sanders is that bad.
Yeah, there's no way.
He can't be, bro. He can't be. I feel sorry for Dillon Gabriel, man, because at the end of the day, they human. He a guy too. He living his NFL dream, and he getting bashed even though he playing bad. But what I'm saying is, man, they done pitted Shedeur versus Cam Ward, now Shedeur versus Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur versus the Browns. Like, I feel sorry for these dudes, man. But at the same time, you can't sit there and tell me that Shedeur don't know nothing when clearly Dillon Gabriel and Isaiah Bond don't know nothing. Like, you can't sit there and tell me he not ready when you got players playing that ain't ready. You can't do that, man. You can't lie to me straight to my face and tell me that he's not ready. And it's been 10 weeks in the NFL season, and you mean to tell me this simplistic playbook that got y'all 2 wins, he can't learn it? Somebody lying.
That's the message you're sending to me as an organization. Dillon's ready. He's prepared. He's the thinker and all that. Let's put it this way. The 4 starts I've watched Dillon Gabriel don't look a whole hell of a lot of thinking's going on right now.
Yeah, and he's going to have a chance out of the bye week against a team that is waving the white flag. If he doesn't look good,
either going on.
I mean, my goodness. All right, Mary Kay was on earlier today with Baskin and Phelps. We were talking about Shedeur Sanders and just the weirdness around his back injury and everything that's been with him not practicing yesterday, him saying after the Sunday game that he wanted to play, he wanted to be the backup, but then the Browns didn't have him out there. This was Mary Kay earlier today.
It should be easier for Dillon Gabriel to have some success against teams that are not as fearsome as some of the ones they've played so far, although the Ravens seem to have gotten their act together, and we'll have to see. I mean, I don't think that the Browns necessarily want to be in a position where they're having to start Shedeur Sanders for 7 games. What if it doesn't work out? Then where do you go from there? So I think they want to give Dillon a longer on-ramp, but he's got to, prove that he deserves it as well.
What does that longer on-ramp for you look like?
Yeah, but it's not even that comment. It was the very end when she said he's got to prove that he deserves it as well. Mm-hmm. That's what.
Man, I ain't believing Mary Kay, not one bit. But I told y'all, I think Jimmy Haslam gonna set it up to have Shedeur play against Cam Ward versus the Titans on December 7th. That's my prediction. He could and should get in there before that. But like she said, that's the only thing, a longer on-ramp. It's too many games left for them to play Shedeur. If they already don't believe in him or don't want to play him, it's too many games left that say we're going to play Shedeur. And then if he play bad or if he do play good, then we got to keep him in there. Or if he play bad, we can't go back to Dillon Gabriel. That's why they thinking. But they can do whatever they want to do. And then they can activate Deshaun Watson and create a whole nother debacle that they got to figure out. If they want to activate him, put him on the 53-man roster and start him, because that's the only other option unless you're going to sign Bailey Zappi and keep him at the 3rd-string quarterback. I don't know what they doing, bro. This is just a circus.
My savages! Moneymane in the thing of a T and playing no games. Should I already know my name when I speak NCC flame. Got my YouTube popping, man. Like, subscribing, everything in between. You already know Moneymane.